Are you worried that members are going to be tempted to take the easy way out? And unlike the Greenspan Commission, when the trust fund was going to go broke, we raised the payroll tax, we raised the retirement age, we made real reform to Social Security. Now it seems some members are willing to entertain the idea that we can just phony up the trust fund with general revenue and call it a day. I mean, are you worried about that?
I'm very worried about that. It was very striking to me that members, some of whom I have great respect for, were seemingly open to the magic asterisk, in which you just say, oh, there's a problem, but not really. We'll just erase it, or we'll look beyond it, or we won't deal with the underlying problem of a mismatch between money coming in and money going out. At the end of the day, the numbers don't lie. The harsh reality is we are spending much more than we are taking in. And no magic asterisk is going to change that. It takes real policy changes in order to solve this problem. And, you know, there's an economic reality here. And the economic reality is expressed in what Senator Portman referred to earlier as the effect on the national economy. Interest rates are rising. In part, they're rising because of deficits and debt. And economists warn of this and have warned about it for years. So, hey, let's pay attention to reality and let's deal with the real issues and not just try to escape responsibility by the magic asterisk.
Senator Portman, you were going to comment on Steve Robinson's question on the last section about just kind of doing the reality check.
Yeah, Steve asked about the hearing that Senator Conrad and I attended. We were witnesses, and one of the other witnesses and a couple of the members said, well, why don't we just continue to spend money from the general fund on Social Security, ignore the law, and ignore the fiscal reality that if we don't solve these problems, our country will, be bankrupt at some point. And the answer, I think, was that Senator Conrad was shocked, as was I, that members who understand what the consequences are here would say that. It's an easy cop-out, maybe, but it really isn't, because people get it. They know that's not realistic, and they know that they're going to be harmed by it. The 24% cut in Social Security benefits will happen under current law. But second, I wanted to make the point that the default in Congress these days is to do nothing. And we see it with regard to the appropriations bills and the reality that eventually we either have a government shutdown or do a continuing resolution, which is the default and which is a fallback. And, to actually pass something, you have to have the votes. You have to have 60 votes in the Senate, a supermajority for anything to do with Social Security. You actually can't do it under so-called reconciliation, even if you wanted to, which is a rare process in any case. So my point is, for those who say, well, let's just find general revenue money and throw it into these trust funds, that requires a change in law that I think would be very difficult, probably impossible to get through the congressional process as we see it these days. So you're really taking a huge risk there with the American people and their futures. That was the point I wanted to make.